We are an age gap couple. I won't give out our ages,
Yeah, don't do that.
but we have an age gap.
A significant one?
Okay.
Now sounds like you're showing off, but I will go with it.
I'm not showing you.
Because you're good. Like you're not even, it's not even a lie.
That does happen because people now use therapy as a way of not dealing with their issues.
Not taking accountability.
Yeah, but you couldn't because it would in some way jeopardize the relationship.
Yeah, you speak to me as though I was a child.
But that's because you call me daddy.
For-
I got that salt and pepper going on. Oh my god.
Okay. Get over yourself, love you.
Salt and pepper. Where if you focus on your career, you're almost doing it at the sacrifice of a home.
Okay, traditional man.
Would it be fun if I just put a picture up here?
Don't do
This
it.
is what she looks like.
She will kill us. I have been thinking of not having children as an here.
Yep.
Sun-kissed, not. I have nice skin. What you talking about? What you talking, girl? What you talking?
We are an age gap couple. I won't give out our ages,
Yeah, don't do that.
but we have an age gap.
A significant one?
Define significant.
But then it would give it away.
Do I know which way we're going?
I don't know.
Do you want to check on your phone? I was saying that we are an age gap couple.
I was hoping you had forgotten we were talking about
No,
that.
bro, we need to talk about this.
Why? We already know this. We are aware.
Yeah, but like us having an age gap, do you think that... Okay. What do you think
Yeah.
is a good age gap between do you think it matters? Let's start there.
Firstly, I am biased because of our age gap. So I'll say I don't think it matters. Oh, I think it should matter. There's some age gaps that
You told me once that
I'm torn.
You told me once that you have a theory
Mhm.
that people that get married and they're at the same age,
Mhm.
it always ends in disaster.
I think so.
Okay.
And
Because this is what you've seen, like...
yeah,
Yeah.
I have seen it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Enough not to like feel it or think it to be true.
Mhm.
I think people like the same age people like should not get married. I don't doubt that they are like relationship that actually work, same age relationships, but
Why do you
more
think that
often
is?
than not.
Why do you think that is?
So there's this theory, right, that women mature faster, and
Yeah.
in same age relationships, the woman is already 5 years ahead maturity wise as compared to the men.
Okay.
So that friction of more mature versus less mature
Yep.
then takes place, and there's a lot of, I feel like it manifests in there's a lot of I'm right, you're wrong, and
But that
no one
happens-
wants to be told.
But that happens now.
Yeah, it does, but then there's a bit of, I would like to think there's a bit of, okay, I think I'm right, he is wrong, I think he's wrong, but also like
I feel
he
like
must know better because he's
I feel
older.
like okay, are you saying in Shona panika
Panika kujairirana.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But if there's an age gap, that
panika ka kuchka ka respect type of thing.
how,
But then other people would argue like,
yeah.
but then kakuchka doesn't open room for manipulation or bullying
and
from the
abuse.
older partner and abuse
Yeah.
in any shape or form. I think there is, and at the end of the day, I then go back to subscribing to, like, I guess it is what it is. Like, do what you want. But personally, I would have never married someone my age.
What's wrong with people your age?
That same theory that I have of people the same age.
Okay, but then aren't you the problem? Because you are saying, if I marry someone who's my age, I will not respect them.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, Kuchi, both parties at some point, it will cause friction. And again, it could be from my own personal issues or trauma or things like that.
Yep.
But yeah.
Okay. So you are saying your theory
Theory.
is the woman should be younger than the man.
I'm saying one of you should be younger than the other.
Yeah, but if you're saying women mature faster,
Yeah.
if a woman marries a man younger than they are,
Yeah.
the maturity will be even worse. The gap will be even worse.
Yeah, but then they still respect or
Why do you
whatever.
think? Well, okay, why would you say? Some people might be like, yeah, but why does respect matter for the man? You know what I mean?
Because I think part of the most, like in the most important top 5 things that are very important for a man in a relationship, respect is like, let me say
It's one of them.
top 3.
Yeah,
Respect
true.
is in the top 3. I think there's coitus, respect, and food.
And food.
Yeah.
Okay. And food.
Yeah.
So you better be able to coitus.
Yes. Provide food, even if it's going to be takeout or however you do.
So you have to be able
Because
to
not
coitus.
everyone can cook. Let's be honest. Not
Yeah,
every
but-
woman can cook. Because I'm a woman doesn't mean I have to
But you can
automatically
learn, right?
Yeah, you can learn.
Yeah.
We can both learn.
Look, to be honest, I would say I enjoy cooking more than you do. Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though I don't do majority of the cooking, I can safely say I enjoy it more than you do, right?
Don't you think you enjoy it more than I do? Because you do it like you. I don't want to say you barely do it because you do cook.
Like twice a week.
See, like, but to be fair,
2 or 3 other times of the week we're not cooking.
We're not cooking at home.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
So
Don't you think you do enjoy it because you don't cook as often as I do, or as compared to?
I don't know. I think I'll still enjoy it. I find it to be like a relaxing activity. Like I enjoy
Yeah.
and also the combination of the flavors and like
You're a good cook.
yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. But it's like even when I cook, I don't have recipes. I just go off vibes. I'm just like, what do we have? Okay.
Now sounds like you're showing off, but I will go with it.
I'm not showing off.
Because you're good. Like you're not even. It's not even a lie.
I'm glad you enjoy my cooking at least.
You're a good cook.
Anyway, back to the topic.
Yeah.
So you're saying ideally, and of course this is not all cases. Cases are unique. Blah, blah, blah. We can put that disclaimer. Fine. But ideally, a man should be older than his wife.
For me, yes.
For you, sure.
Yeah.
By how much? What's a good gap?
I think 3 years going upwards.
Until
Of course.
until when? Like, I'm sure there's a upper limit where it's like, this is
I think
ridiculous.
3 going up to 10.
10 years.
Yeah.
Is it convenient that you just included your own there in that gap?
Leave me alone. Ask the question. I
Convenience.
answered it. Now leave me alone.
Okay. Why do you think older than 10 is too much?
Actually, honestly, I think 3 to 15.
Okay. Let's look at 15.
Yeah.
So you're saying a 35-year-old can marry a 20-year-old?
I think people should start considering marriage from 23 going
Sure,
upwards.
fine. So a 38-year-old can marry a 23-year-old? Sure?
Sure.
You sound a little...
Sure. Sure. Because, hey. Yeah.
Say it with your chest, bro. What you saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
They're a consenting adult.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like for a lot of people right now in their heads, the thing that's ringing is, bro, but she's a child, right?
Yeah, so if you feel like she's a child, don't marry a child.
Yeah. But and oh my gosh, she will be abused. Acha in Shona, acha matiriro. Is there English for that?
I think there is, but I can't be bothered to think about
she'll
it
be
right
oppressed.
now. Yeah.
Okay. But I feel like regardless of your partner's age, you need to be looking for those things anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even if your partner is a year older than you, don't look for someone who's abusive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just like, if someone respects you, why would they abuse you? And I don't doubt that there are underlying issues to why people like abuse comes into play in relationships, like from both ends. Like people have pasts, and those pasts sometimes manifest themselves in people as adults, you know.
Yep.
And definitely people should seek help. I am so pro therapy. So
As
like
a therapist,
I'm not,
that's confirmation bias, bro.
no, I am pro therapy because it actually works.
Okay.
Yeah. I am pro therapy. I'm pro seeking help whenever you need it.
So you sent me that podcast between Trevor Noah and that lady, I forgot her name.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
Was a relationship expert, and they touched on the culture of over therapizing. You know what I mean? Where like now people on their dating profile will put "I'm in therapy" as a reason you should date me. You know, like I'm working on myself. I'm trying to da 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 da.
Yeah.
But and she said that that does happen because people now use therapy as a way of not dealing with their issues.
Not taking accountability.
Yeah, because now they're just like, oh no, I'm in therapy, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to actually do anything to fix my issues. I'm just going to go to therapy and tell them my problems and then go and do that same stuff anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like asking God for forgiveness and continue
to God
do
forgive me, I'm about to sin, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And then
more than God help me
not to do it,
or have me build skills, or resilience to avoid this temptation of
100%
going back and forth with this thing.
So it's like I'm for therapy, I'm for all that, but I guess like Trevor asked her, I'm going to ask you the same question. Like, you meet someone, the person's in therapy.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish between, they're in therapy because there's actually stuff they're working on to better themselves, or they are a
dependent?
Yeah, where it's like, now I just go there for the sake of not
feeling bad about what I've done, because I can always confess it to someone else,
and I don't actually deal with it or change anything.
Firstly, let's talk about this person.
Yep.
Let's say it's Belle.
Okay.
I don't know if I heard it from the same podcast that I sent you or another one.
Yep.
But where they said good therapy should surely come to an end.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? So if your therapists keep taking you in, this is my opinion. It's not professional opinion. Yep. It's not professional advice. It's just my opinion.
This is just entertainment. It's for entertainment purposes.
I think good therapy should surely come to an end, and good therapy does not teach anyone to be dependent, but to teach someone to be able to stand and build skills that they will take from that and use in the real world. That's why I'm like, good therapy should surely come to an end, right? And after it does come to an end, people have things like lapses or relapses, right? And they can seek help after, or they can then seek help regularly, right? Like, I just lapsed, I need help. Because I think we as human beings will never not need help at some point. Could be from our immediate environment, our family and friends. Could be from therapy, but I'm just saying, good therapy should come to an end. And
isn't that also dependent on the therapist? So
it is good therapy.
Yeah. So
if it's like horrible shit therapy, then that's when you have a client developing dependency and not being able to stand on their 2 feet, which is not a therapist's job, like to baby anyone.
So I've gone to a therapist, and I put an asterisk off in Zimbabwe. Where I was getting some issues, and I was going to this therapist, right?
Yeah.
And it always felt like the conversations we had would just go around in circles, to the point where at the end of the session they'll be like, okay, let's talk about that more next week. They booked me in for another one. And it was always consistent. It was like, there's no actually driving me to a conclusion about something. It always felt like their goal was to get me booked in for another one.
Okay.
And I eventually stopped going, because I was like, I've gone for so many times, and I don't feel like you're actually helping me. I don't feel like there's been any conclusion on any of my issues, or any assistance, or directing me to, because of course you're not, as a therapist, you're not supposed
I'm not here to give you
a solution, but you are helping me come up to my own, right? But it's like the circles, which was like, it's almost like we would go deeper and deeper, and I'd leave the therapy session more anxious than when I arrived. Like, I might have, it always felt like at the end of it, I think I have a bigger problem than I thought, and it's like, how do we avoid bad therapists, I guess is my question. Because it's like, I felt like the taste of my mouth for therapy got really soured by that experience, and I don't know if I can. Of course I feel I have to go back and, but how do we tell, this is a bad one, this is a good one? Or is it like through experience, then you're like, yeah, this one is not for me, let me look for another one? Or do we look at reviews?
I do not have a straight answer for that.
Yep.
However, I think if a therapeutic relationship goes longer than it's intended to, or where you now start feeling you as an individual that without this therapist or without going to therapy or without going to see a therapist,
Okay.
you can't function, you've created like a dependent type of relationship, then you should start questioning that therapeutic relationship. Like when it now feels like it's just a relationship type of thing, really.
Yep.
Like, I can't make this decision, I need to go to therapy. No, therapy is supposed to give you a guide to be able to work on some of these things like decision making and things like that. So I feel like when you feel like you're highly dependent on your therapist
Then the
to
relationship.
get answers or solutions or run your life, basically, then, and I don't know how you can see this, because that's why I'm guessing we go to therapy. Like when you stop when you're not taking accountability for your actions and you're just using therapy as a place to go confess your sins and go back and commit them.
Yeah. It's like a
because also it's a two-way relationship, hey? If you're not honest as well, someone will give you a wrong what do I call this?
I think it's for a lot of non-first world people. Therapy is a foreign concept.
I once was with a guy who they had moved countries, and they were having such a hard time, and the company, because they knew that they were hiring foreigners, were offering therapy services, usually called employment assistance program, where you can talk to someone hired by the organization to talk to employees if you're having a hard time and just need to talk to someone in those services, a professional. And I was like, no, they have that in your company, so why don't you reach out? It's like, see a shrink?
You see
a shrink? No, I'll be alright. Like they'd rather brave it out,
man it out. I'll be alright.
See a shrink. It's oh guys. It's I told you BID has nice cars. It's seen as some kind of weakness point or being weak for doing so. So
yeah, it is.
It's not. It's seen as.
It's seen as 100%.
But it's not. And I think sometimes we before we even go seek therapy and things like that, how about we start, like everyone, I'm sure everyone has that one person in their family or friendship circle that they can talk to about some of these hard things, right? And I know sometimes they don't provide the clear, more professional guide, right? But sometimes when you do truly need support, reach out to people and talk to them. You never know, it could be something that would be helpful. Because even after you go to therapy, I bet you money some of the things the therapist will refer you back to in terms of getting support when that therapeutic relationship probably ends, is, yes, you can always come back to me and we can talk about this when you feel like you're lapsing or relapsing into this behavior or whatnot, or into these feelings, but also make use of the support people around you.
And the techniques you learn during the therapy of it.
Yeah.
To deal with,
You know, so.
Anyway, back to original topic.
We went down
Rabbit hole.
yeah.
So, age gap.
You would hope a man would forget at some point. Gee.
What did that guy from Game of Thrones says? A man never forgets. Because I am no one.
Okay. Jeez.
Ah! My face changes. Anyway, what have you found to be, and don't tell me there's nothing because it's not true. What have you found to be the difficult things that have come up because of our difference in age? For you?
For me,
Yep.
for me, it would be a bit of self-doubt. Let me explain.
Yep.
Because I feel like I've convinced myself at some point that you're more mature than me, then you must surely know more.
But I am more mature than you.
So what's the point
I'm sorry,
of me saying
joking.
what I want to say?
I'm joking. Okay, go ahead.
Jesus. Because I, at some point, convinced myself that you're more mature than me.
Yeah.
There's some decisions that I'm not, or I have not challenged.
Okay.
Because I'm like, oh, sure, he knows what he's talking about, so it must be okay. So there's no point in me challenging that. Because,
did you want to challenge them?
Yeah, because I would probably have a different perspective.
Okay.
And when I say challenge, I don't know if people think, oh no, I should fight for my rights, but no, just like put a different thinking or different perspective to the same idea, and okay. And it makes me doubt myself, like, do I really know what I'm saying? Because I might be too immature to know what I'm saying, and he definitely knows. Or like after having challenged that idea or thinking in whatever, and you stand up for it firmly in a way of trying to convince me to go with your idea.
Okay.
And it causes me to have like self-doubts, like, do I even know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm too immature to be, yeah.
So have I not created a good enough environment for you to feel like my thoughts will be heard or considered?
Well, it has since changed because now I challenge
a lot more.
I challenge a lot more, and what I say is being heard, and
So what changed?
What changed was you saying it's okay for us to have different opinions about the same thing and still be in a union. We're going to agree about some things, we're going to disagree about some things. We're going to have to, even if we agree or disagree, we're going to have to come to a conclusion about some things eventually. But if you have a point, stand by your point and argue your point. And bring facts or reasons for your point, and we will
So did you feel
consider.
So did you feel at some point that you challenging my point, you couldn't because it would in some way jeopardize the relationship?
Yeah, or be disrespectful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that thinking has changed now.
That thinking has changed now.
Yeah.
And another thing is sometimes I've communicated this though. Sometimes I feel like even when you talk to me and like are giving advice or trying to teach something, you speak to me as though I was a child.
But that's because you call me daddy. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, you're right.
What have I done?
I'm sorry. You're right. And that is, I don't think that's because of your age, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's because of my natural proclivity to want to teach things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like subconsciously,
which is not always a good
really
thing.
has
not always
something. I feel like subconsciously for you, it really has something to do with my age.
Why do you think that?
Because I just wonder if I was almost your age, or you know, if you would still feel the need to drill down a teaching, or
I think maybe not. Let me not say, but from what I think I would, because just by naturally I want to, like, if I know something interesting, look at that.
Do you want me to take my
No, it's fine.
beautiful...
We've been here before.
Oh, Jesus.
So
I do feel like it's true that it comes natural to you to want to teach, and
but it's not always a good thing.
It's not always a good thing. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like, dude, we're having a conversation, not a lesson. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want us to talk.
Oh,
you know?
Forget it.
Maybe I'm a great man.
Oh
my God.
Jesus Christ. Here we go again.
You should be thanking your gods, bro.
I actually asked God, like, what did I do in my past life to deserve this
in a bad
horrible thing of a bed? What punishment am I paying for? Like, I'm stuck with this idiot for the rest of my life.
No, but I do get it. Because even in a church settings, you get what I mean? As much as I'm a teacher and I want to, the best way I know how to help someone is to show them a concept and let me teach wara. Sometimes from the teachings of Jesus himself, sometimes you're just supposed to sit down next to someone and cry with them.
Yeah.
because they're in pain. Not show them how, take your pain and use it for the glorification of the
Oh my God, what comes to mind is one day I was driving and on the radio, this was in Zim, they were talking about when someone had just lost someone, like they're grieving, and what type of statements would be helpful for people to say and what type of statements will have the opposite effects of being helpful. And one of the opposite ones were which translates in English to, who did you want this to happen to if not you?
Not you.
And I'm like,
that's a horrible.
Are you kidding me? But yeah, like sometimes just go there and cry.
Can I say I love that in Shona there is a standardized way of saying to someone, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm crying with you. I'm here to help you if you need me. Like there's a standardized way. There's no, you don't have to go and say all those things. But if you just arrive and say, you shake their hands and you say, you're done. You've communicated all of that in one word, right?
Or in one word,
yes. And then you just sit down and you say nothing. You're done. You cry with them if they want to cry. If they need some help or something, you know, they know they can call on you to help them. I really like that. I think that's very beautiful.
It's so cool. You can't take me to funerals though. Like even if I didn't know the person, if I see people crying, you start crying. Like I would be like the biggest crier that will be there then. They'll be like, yeah, why are you crying? You didn't know them. I'm like, yeah, but all of you are in pain and it's so painful to watch.
Can I tell you something that you're not gonna like? Since we arrived here maybe 8 months ago, the church started going to, we've been there since like December, November. Just a time where we've heard of 2 people dying. And that is going to continue to happen a lot because a lot of the people in our church are elderly. Meaning sooner or later one of the elderly people are going to die. It's going to be someone we know or someone we have a close relation to.
Oh no.
So meaning we're going to be attending a lot of funerals. That's gonna happen. I don't think there's any way we can run away from that.
But then I get that, but you know, in Zimbabwe there's a way where they protect, unless it's a close relative or the child to the person who has passed on. I've noticed that there's this culture of not taking children to the funeral. And I feel like there are good sides to it, but there are also bad sides to it. But I lean towards the good side, maybe because I was protected. I was said child protected from attending funerals.
Zim funerals, I'm not sure about the rest of Africa, but Zim funerals are grimy. Like as in, it's an uncomfortable experience. It's very uncomfortable. Like Munoshika, speaking in Shona, you arrive, you greet people, and all the grieving people are sitting in one room, in almost like a circle. So that people can come and shake their hands and say "Matamati" as they go around, right? And then you then maybe sit down in there. The women, especially on Karapasi, Momo. The men maybe go outside Panemoto where there's a fire or something. And we pretty much stay up the whole night.
For 3 nights actually.
Singing, grieving, cooking, eating, talking, grieving some more. And then you go the procession to go bury the person. And you know the Vakwashas, I don't know if it's the same on your side. But Vakwasha, those are the ones that dig up the grave. What's Wakwashas in English? The sons-in-laws?
Yeah.
The sons-in-law dig up the grave. And then a pastor, preacher, whoever says his word before the burial. It's grimy. 3-4 days. You can go there 3-4 days. You haven't bathed. Especially like if it's in the raw areas.
Yeah.
You haven't slept well. You may be sleeping in your car or sleeping on the floor. It's a lot.
I haven't been to enough funerals then.
It's a lot.
Because I've only gone to those funerals where I go for like a day on the burial day, I guess. And the one that, even my grandfather's funeral, I was so young, but I remember we slept at home, at our house. Would go every day. I'm sure my mom slept there and would go and come back. I don't remember what happened, but I still remember we slept back at home and not.
I think if you're younger, they'll probably take you back home. But like if you're like a dad, so like if my dad dies, for example, I will have to be there the whole time.
Oh yeah.
You will have to be there the whole time.
Yeah.
But like our kids, they can probably be taken home overnight or whatever. You know? But like, I feel like it's grimy by design. You know what I mean?
To emphasize the
loss.
The loss.
Yeah, like, and you know, like how we have like professional wailers.
Oh my God! I was about to say. Fun fact: do you know people are hired to cry?
To wail, yeah. Like
that is stupid. I'm sorry.
No, but it's true. Like. There was I think it was the funniest thing when I don't remember if it was my uncle or my grandfather's funeral.
Yeah.
We were there and there was this woman who was like in the Kumusha area there. One second she's talking to some people there, they are laughing, Makadiko, and then she meets a direct relative of the person who passed.
Yeah.
And she goes, and then the switch was whoa.
That's psychopathic! No. That is a psychopathic play right there. Dude, the way they the switch is real. They'll be like laughing 1 minute and they'll go like, you know, when someone goes on the ground and start rubbing themselves against the ground and crying and
but it's almost like you need to wail.
I feel like
as women, wail.
I would just look and laugh at a funeral, and people would chase me away.
Yeah,
because it's so funny to me. Like you were just laughing a second ago, and all of a sudden you're on the ground, just losing it.
Yeah, you need to wail.
I would laugh.
It's part of the.
I would laugh. Culture. You guys would chase me away from the funeral because I'll laugh so hard.
Anyway, how did we get here? We're supposed to be talking about age gap. Let's come back again.
No. Oh gosh.
How did we get here? Anyway, we're talking about how the things that you think were bad or are not great because of the age gap. One of them, you said that you feel like. You felt like, okay. Like I always saw you as a child and I would want to always teach you things.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Nah, that's it for me.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to say the good things because you just list a million things. They're like, he's so great. Oh my God, he's so great. Oh my God. But yeah, interesting. Would you advise?
Yep.
So I know you have a friend.
Yeah.
Who is on the market.
Yeah.
Single man. If you want a number, let me know. She's sell her. Don't say her name.
Yeah.
But just sell her. Like,
Oh my god.
here's my friend.
Where do I start?
She's so amazing.
She is so pretty. One of the prettiest girls you ever meet in your life. She's so sweet. She's so kind. She is down to earth.
Yep.
So I've discovered that sometimes I can be very overprotective of my friends.
Yep.
I think so highly of them.
Yep.
I do not want anything to like
To happen to them.
anything bad.
How old is she?
She's 27.
She's 27.
Yeah.
So according to your maths,
Yeah.
she needs to date someone who's between 30 and 42.
I'll do 30.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a multiple choice.
I know, but I would do 30 for her.
Why that?
29, 30, 31.
Why?
I don't-
29 is 2 years. That's you're saying that's too little.
Okay, fine, 30.
Yeah.
Why? Because I don't know, like, I just want someone young for her and, with the oomph for life.
Bro, 36 is young. Okay.
Are we talking about anyone in particular's age?
I am talking from personal experience. 36 is young.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever works for you.
Don't patronize me.
I don't know, like, still 3 years will be what I would want for her.
Okay.
Why? I don't know, that's just my preference for her. I just want a great guy for her.
And if she meets a very nice 36-year-old, you would be like, no to that?
It's up to her.
I'm fighting for the 36-year-old brothers out
Because
there.
are you 36?
I might be. I know I look like I'm in my 40s, but I got that salt and pepper going on. Oh my god.
Okay. Get over yourself, Claudia.
Salt and pepper.
I would like, I just want someone
Yep.
who compliments her as a person,
Yep.
who is as sweet, as kind, God-fearing, especially God-fearing,
Yep.
open, very patient with her. Yeah, I would say she is, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, two things: God-fearing and very kind. And I would want, this is not to say she doesn't have flaws, she has, like any other person, right? But like, that's why I say that I also want a patient person for her, because for them to navigate
Yep.
both their flaws together and both their amazing traits together, and
Okay, here's an interesting question.
um,
What? So just so guys out there can say, yeah, that's not for me, right? What would you say our character, if a guy has this kind of character? I'm not saying bad things like, oh my gosh, if you're a murderer, leave him alone. No. Like, not necessarily bad things, but if you have this kind of character, or you're interested in this kind of women, she's probably not for you.
If you are interested in, firstly, just playing around, she's not for you.
Yeah, that's a bad thing, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, for anyone.
Just putting it out there.
That guy is not for anyone.
Yeah, that guy's not for anybody.
Okay, but good things. So, like for example, let me give you an
Yeah,
example.
please do.
So, if a guy is like, so I am someone who I'm a homebody. I love staying in my house.
Yeah.
I want to be in my house. I'm not really for partying or going out and things
Yeah.
like that. And that's just how I like my life.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, okay, that's probably not for you because she enjoys the opposites.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So things like that.
Okay. She is an ambivert from what I know. She enjoys being home.
Yep.
However, she is a very outgoing person once she finds a ground in a certain place, in a certain area. So I call her ambivert because she has both introvert traits and extrovert traits. She is creative.
Yep.
I know she's social, but I don't know if I can call her a social butterfly.
Okay.
But I do know she's social. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Um,
she likes traveling,
does she
nice
want,
spaces and nice places.
let's ask the big ticket questions.
Yeah.
Does she want to have kids?
Yes.
A lot of kids? A few kids?
I think she wants the average number of kids.
So 3 kids.
3 kids, 2 kids. She's never communicated wanting a very big family.
Yep.
So from that, I take she wants an average number of kids.
Okay.
She does enjoy or like the idea of being an auntie.
How is it
So
raining?
she does love kids.
Okay. Is she career focused or home building focused?
She is career focused.
Okay.
Yeah. That woman works hard for what she's got.
Cool.
Period.
So if you're looking for like a housewife, home builder kind of woman, probably not for you.
No.
Okay.
I don't know about housewife home builder because I believe that someone can be both career woman and home builder.
I don't know about that, to be honest. I feel like it's too much pressure to do both. Like you can either be home builder focused, still have a career, but because you're home builder focused, an example I'm going to give, you know what I'm going to talk about, where if you focus on your career, you're almost doing it at the sacrifice of a home.
Okay, traditional man.
Nah, it's not about tradition. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to say names.
Yeah, but then you can find the balance. You don't have to be on one extreme end or the other extreme end.
But that's exhausting.
You can find the balance.
But you see what I mean? Like, so that means so someone
speaking as a homemaker and a career woman.
The truth is, right now you are focused on career, right? Not because our home isn't great. Our home is great, right? But it's like you're not. We are right now not willing to invest a lot in building our home. So meaning having kids right now, having other people to take care of. You get what I mean? Well, like, let's put a pause on that right now because right now we want to do this.
But then
that
I feel
might
like
switch. That's okay.
I do feel like, why do men assume that when someone is okay with getting married, they want to have kids? What if I never want to have kids?
100%, which is why I asked the question, does she want to have kids? Because some men are very much okay with wanting to be with a woman who doesn't want to have kids because they don't want to have kids. She's like, that's perfect, right? But someone might be like, no, I want kids. So that then it removes the men who are like, no, I want kids. I don't want someone who doesn't want to have kids. So I'm asking these big ticket questions that the people who might be interested, who know exactly what the kind of person she is. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like she is open to having kids one day, just not now. But she wants a serious, stable relationship because
100%.
girl is all about stability, not
100%.
shaky.
I feel like we should also we're going to have an interview with her at some point.
Oh, she's very pretty. Get ready.
Sure. Would it be fun if I just put a picture up here?
Don't do it.
This is what she looks like.
She'll kill us.
I'll ask for permission first.
Yeah, but no, don't do it.
Anyway.
And she's not in Zimbabwe, she's not in New Zealand. When she comes on the show, she'll tell you where she's from or where she is right now. She's from Zimbabwe, but she's not.
Do you think she would be interested in a long distance relationship?
No.
So, meaning
if she is, I'll talk her the shit out of that. No.
That's hilarious.
No.
So, if you're not living in a direct vicinity, you're automatically disqualified.
Yeah. Long distance for who?
Huh?
Hey, long distance relationship.
Oh, I see.
Putting it out there, they're just not for me.
Yeah.
But they have worked for other people, and other people are open to them.
Yep.
But
just not you.
Just not me. And I would, if asked, I would advise against. And I'm open to someone who's had it work and loved it and it went great. Oppose my point or challenge my thinking, but for right now, hell's no's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the point of
conversation.
Back to the point of whether or not. So okay, let's talk about this because I feel like it's a can of worms.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think.
Yeah.
I heard it said once that multitasking is a myth. You're not doing two things well. You're doing two things half-heartedly.
I'm starting to believe that.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is why I'm standing on the look. You can do half-hearted home building and career, sure, and you'll be fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're like, I want my focus to be home building, that's what I'm really passionate about, then do that wholeheartedly. You can still have a job and work and earn some money, fine. But your real focus is home building. Or if you're like, no, I want to career, the home building will be sacrificed pretty much. I'm of the opinion that I don't think you can do both wholeheartedly. I don't think you can.
I think you can do both wholeheartedly.
I feel like that's
just
exhausting.
Like anything, you need to practice and.
But isn't that exhausting?
I don't know about exhausting.
Yeah, bro. Go on to.
I'll give you an example of this country, right? New Zealand has such a beautiful work-life balance, right? Where when you're out of work, you're out of work. When you're in work, you're in work, right?
True.
So with that type of balance being struck, you can adopt accordingly and, make it work.
But because of the person that we both know, why aren't they making it work? They went hard for career. Hard. And they're doing super well in their career.
Yeah.
But their home life is pretty much non-existent.
Hey, who is to tell you that that's not they? Who is to say that they?
I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying that's just what they chose.
Yeah.
Right? And I think they're a prime example of if you're gonna go hard after a career, you will do so well at it.
Yeah.
but your home life will be sacrificed because of it.
I don't know. I'd want to hear from someone who, because I'm just like, sometimes I think people believe you have to choose one or the other. What if you don't actually want the other one?
Well, then don't choose it. You get what I mean?
Yeah, so if you don't want
not to say,
to ever get married or be in a relationship,
yeah.
then...
So not to say, don't hear me wrong. Not to say if you're going out after Korea, you can't have a husband. Not to say that you can't have kids. You can, right?
Yeah.
But you'll be raising your kids passively most times, and your relationship with your husband. If your husband is one who values home building stuff, your relationship with your husband might go under some tension.
Isn't that something that you should communicate though?
100%.
When you're still dating a person, or when you're starting to know or date a person, like
1,000.
Hey, this is my thinking.
1,000% agree with you. Yeah. So it's like I want to go after my career.
Yeah.
Meaning XYZ might be sacrificed in the process. We might not always be able to go on date nights. We might not be able to go on holidays all the time. We're not going to, you know what I mean? You communicate this at the beginning. And if your husband is also very career focused and is fine with this, great. Both of you are living in agreement.
I do feel like you're exaggerating a little bit in terms of, you say that it's not one or the other, or you don't think that it's one or the other.
Yeah.
But however, the way you're expressing your points or saying them is exactly in that manner of.
What do you mean?
Like you say. So I'm thinking, if you have communicated with your partner beforehand that, hey, I want to work on this and that, right? And they say yes, then both of you know what you're getting into. So that shouldn't be a matter of, later on down the road
100%.
These things will be, because you reference back to that conversation or those conversations and say, well, we spoke about this, you knew this was gonna happen. Okay, I wasn't prepared that it was going to be this intense. Okay, how do we reach a compromise or a middle ground? Okay, you can work these days, but these days we are home.
So let me be clear. Let me be clear, because I think we're saying the same thing, right? So what I'm saying is, it's just not a good or bad thing. If you want to be career focused, I think it's not a bad thing. Focus on it, push it, go after it, 1,000%.
Yeah.
But if you want to be family focused, do the same thing. Focus on it, 100%, push it, go for it, right? Agree with your partner before. Communicate with your partner and agree. Okay. So even when you're dating, you say, hey, I feel like I want to be this way. And it can even be a thing of, right now I'm career focused, but I might change later to want to be home focused. Or right now I'm home focused, later I might change to be career focused. And if your partner is like, okay, I'm okay with that, at least later, like they know what they got themselves into. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, let's adapt. Let's adapt. Let's change. Let's make sure we work. Sure. I think the problem comes where someone says, "Oh yeah, I want to have a family. I want to da 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 da." They miscommunicate these things to their partner, and then a year into their marriage, they're like, "You know what? So family doesn't mira. I'm going to go hard for my career for the next 10 years." That will cause tension. Because it's like, that's not what we spoke about. But it's
still not something that is beyond repair.
100%. Of course. It's still not beyond repair. But if you can avoid some tension, avoid some tension. It's not, if it's unnecessary to have, right, avoid it.
I think this is the perfect time to tell you that.
Oh, you're cheeky, you're bad.
That.
Are you about to break my heart, baby?
I think this is the perfect time to tell you that I have been thinking of not having children as an option.
Okay, tell me more.
Like, I'm okay with not having children. Should I decide not to?
Okay. As you know, my stance has always been, I am okay with you not or having children. It's really up to you because of circumstances, which we'll talk about in a different podcast, I guess. About us, right?
Yeah.
But I always want to understand your thinking around it, because I do know whenever you go around babies that are cute, your ovaries start attacking you, and you're like, oh my gosh,
But I
need a baby.
Like, many times.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm an overcomer.
Okay.
Oh my god, how that sounds in my head.
Come on, Chandler. You go, Chandler.
Oh my god, I hate myself. Oh, Jesus. Cleanse my mind. Cleanse my mind. Holy Spirit. And yeah, most times I've felt like that, but
would you? Okay.
I just got over it.
Yeah.
Would I?
20 years down the line, would you hate yourself for taking that stance?
I wouldn't know. I haven't thought that far.
Okay, hey. It's up to you. I feel like in a week's time you're gonna change your mind. Come back to me again and be like, yeah, I don't know about that.
I said, should I decide to? Meaning that it's not a decision that I have made already, but should I decide to in the future?
Yeah.
I know I have friends around me that will be like, hell no, madam. I already know one of them, and you do too.
Yep.
But yeah, because she keeps telling me like, I'm waiting for your babies, hurry up, because I'll be. I don't want to be old. Yeah, I don't want to be old by the time you decide. Well, there's a Swazi shop.
Swazi.
Yeah, it's written Swazi shop, and like it has Eswatini like drawing stuff. Anyway,
so what's your reason for not wanting?
Sorry.
What's your reason for not wanting to have babies?
Should I decide not to?
Yeah.
It would just be because I just want to dedicate my life to traveling, seeing the world, and seeing the world, having the option of doing what I want to do without having to think about where do I put my kid when I want to do this. And one of the things is, no offense to anyone at all, I have seen what a horror it is to travel with the baby on a plane. God, I pray for you parents. You goes through a lot.
So much.
Yeah, so. But yeah, just that, like, just from a selfish point off, like me.
So then, isn't? Okay, I'm going to ask a harder question.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's a good reason?
I don't even feel bad about it. Yes. To me, it is.
I'm not saying you should feel bad.
To me, it is.
But you're saying it's centered in selfishness.
Yes. And who's to say some selfish decisions are horrible. It's about.
I would say the Bible would say that.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Oh,
It's
okay.
my decision. I made it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So you're saying when Jesus attacks you, you'll be like, oh, okay, just fine. Because I'm like, and I think that's always my thing. If your decision is based off, according to your own reason,
I say Jesus.
Yeah.
This is really what I want.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, but this
He's
is
like,
what
sure.
I want.
Okay.
And I'm God.
Hey, I trust that God knows why he does everything that he does. So should Jesus force pregnancy on my body? Cool. But as long as it's within my control of I do put these measures in place to not, then, and Jesus does not force it on my body, then we're all good.
Do you
and the way you're saying it is as if I've already made the decision. However, I said, should I end up thinking that way?
I'm talking about that.
I am still like open to having babies. Like I would love to have children. It will be nice because the way I brood sometimes, it's so unreal.
Oh my gosh, you're so broody.
But at the same time, should I not want that option?
So I think they are ironclad, even biblical reasons to not have children. They are there. My concern is always, like, for me, if I have a reason to not do something and I know that it's something that Jesus would raise an eyebrow to, like, what do you mean, right? It's very hard for me to keep that decision, because I know that one day Jesus could just blow it up, right?
To be honest with you, I am a firm believer in, if Jesus wanted it otherwise, he would make it known to me, and he would make it so. Even if you fight stubborn, right? Or even if I fight him. He did the same thing to freaking Jonah. You know? So if he wants it to be known to me that that's not what he wishes, he would definitely make it known. So I'm not even worried about that.
No, I don't fight about that.
Yeah, if he is of the opposite opinion of whatever decision I make, same thing. If I want to have kids and he thinks opposite of it, he will make it known. He will, according to his will, right? So I'm really not worried about my decision being the final thing or being low when I say I have put my hands in, I've put my life in God's hands, because he is ultimately in control of everything and all of me. So should I make this decision and he wants the opposite one? Should I make the other decision and he wants the other one, the opposite one to that, whatever decision it is? Then he will make it known. And things will happen according to his will, regardless. So I am aware that ultimately the decision is God's decision. However, I do know that as I'm down here and I use my brain, I could think of decisions that I make for myself. But my decisions are here, his are here, and they...
Should we park somewhere and have some lunch?
Sure.
Yep. Do you wanna? We have what we have. We eat what we have, right?
Yeah. For now, yeah. Cool.